welcome to Fate of Isen, Book 2. Congratulations for being here. Hello, and welcome to being in our chat. I see a few scared faces in the chat. It's okay. I'm really happy you're here, joining us during this very difficult time. I see you in there freaking out, and it's okay, you know? We're going to be okay together. I know that change is hard, but we can do this together. Anyway, we are a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast made by a bunch of Kiwi comedians, proud members of Kiwi RPG, and that is Kiamu Whakatau Aotearoa, tabletop role-playing from New Zealand. We korero paki, we tell some jokes, and we hopefully save the world and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Thank you for joining us today. If it is your first time joining an Isen live stream, welcome! Kia ora! Thanks for joining us. For all of our faties who are coming home once more, welcome back! It's great to see you again. I wish I could just hug and pinch your little cheeks because you're so cute. I love you so much. I've got such a story to tell, and I have got a smaller but very important big cast to help me tell it today. So let's meet the Sidebars. And yes, with a new face on screen, I did say the Sidebars. Would the new Sidebar like to take the stage and introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Erica. I guess I'm also Brad's nipples today. If you were in the chat earlier on, this is fun. I'm going to be playing Taryn Grimm, she, her, and we will find out more about her later on today. Over to you, Kasia.
Hi, I'm Kasia. I'm the boring old sidebar that's been here for a while. I play Granny Sabinka, the half-elf druid, or should we say half-crab druid. And I love to see you all on the other side of this invisible wall. And I definitely see you all. Anyway, back to you, Jules. I'm very tired.
We have cameras in all of your houses. Yes. We're looking at you right now, and god damn, you look good. Look at you, doing the thing. God, so attractive over there. I'm Jules. Cool mug, yeah, I agree. I'm Jules, and I'm your Dungeon Master for Book 2, and I am just peachy keen and honoured to be here, frankly. We have such a fun story to tell in Book 2. I'm really excited for us to be on Chapter Water, and we find ourselves today under the ocean. In fact, we find ourselves today under the ocean, but dry, which is an unusual state of being, because we're going to pick up our episode after we left our sidebars in Dry Town, in the Afoot Inn, where they have found lodgings. Dry Town, of course, being a bubble town in Mernea, basically set up to be for foreign ambassadors from the earth above. Places that the Earthwalkers could stay safely while they came down to the float to meet with the floatess about what was happening down here. More recently, if you're remembering from our last episode, it's kind of become somewhat of a attraction for the people who live in the float, kind of a novelty place to visit, to see what the Dry Town people, you know, the Earthwalkers actually live like. So where we find ourselves is after a very lovely night's rest in the Afoot Inn, we pick up as Granny Sabinka walks down the stairs. So how's your morning been, Granny? Like, what's been happening to you this morning? What's checking in? What's going on?
So Granny woke up, was woken up by Dexter just groaning and vomiting and all that smelly, disgusting things coming out of his room, and it's just, I don't know, nobody wanted to go there, and it was a bit of a thing. Then the manager came, and then basically, essentially, I had to make him some granny broth and leave him alone in there. So, you know, just, you don't want to know what was happening, like the bowels moving, like, anyway, so...
It does sound like, unfortunately, Dexter Clementine has come down with a case of the underwaters, the depths.
Yeah. The watery bowels, that's...
Yeah, well, I mean, being down at this depth of the ocean, the pressure is pretty hard on the body, and some people cope with that kind of like higher sense of pressure on the body better than others, and it looks like Dexter is not coping very well at all. It's, it'll take a day, he'll sleep it off, he'll be alright after a good rest, but it looks like Dexter is gonna have to spend the day in bed, sadly, so.
Poor little boy, just don't show your face around. That was the morning, and now she's blissfully free of the responsibilities and is going to go down to the bar and see if Dry Town means Dry Town or just a Thai
which it does
town
not.
that is dry. So yes, just checking. Just healthy beer and a breakfast, please, to the barkeep, who I assume is downstairs.
Yeah, so you see the same drow that you saw the night before. The hot drow. The Nizana Sorn, the owner of A Foot Inn, and he is the dark elf with obsidian skin, piercing crimson eyes, and he is set up this morning. He pours you a beer and arranges in the back. There seems to be somebody in the back who's organising the kitchen, and that comes out fairly quickly for you. You do also notice that Bardley is up early this morning, which is unusual, because Bardley obviously usually sleeps in and is the late riser. But having arranged the night before for Bardley to be, playing to kind of earn a discount on your accommodation, Bardley is up early sussing out the stage and where to play and kind of getting to grips with all of that, and has decided the stage is terribly set up and is rearranging everything to be better for the lunchtime shift. So you see Bardley is busy, fussing about pulling things out of that bag of holding, like the glitter curtain and stuff, and setting it out behind the stage. And but it doesn't look like Bardley is going to be joining you on whatever your plans are for today either. So looks like Granny really is on her own.
Oh, Bardley dear. I thought we were going to see the town together. Get to know each other a little better. And I raise a mug towards him.
Yeah, and they respond kind of with flapping hands and glitter being distributed very vaguely, sort of half distractedly, yeah, another time.
I see. Such a professional. And I take a sip. And I would like to turn to the hot drow that I will not acknowledge is very attractive even to me, and ask, so what is there to see in this town?
He asks you, seriously, in Dry Town or in Mernea proper?
Oh, well, you tell me.
Well, Dry Town has its rides, its attractions, of course. You can go and ride the coaster, the twirly-whirly, the crab walk, if you want. They are fun. Personally, that's a little noisy and a little kitsch, It's a little on the nose for me. They also do have a whole store where you get to wear shoes and walk around, but I feel like that's sort of unnecessary for you. He's looking at your, feet.
Just wearing shoes? Yeah, no.
Just wearing shoes.
Fine, but what is it that you like? Good beer.
Well, I like to go to the library when I can. Curl up in the corner in silence with a good book,
So you're a smart little one. I'll make you a hat. And then I take out my little knitting needles and start plotting the hat whilst sipping my beer and planning my trip to the library.
Nice. You do still have the map from yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Sort of highlighting where some of the main kind of attraction points are in Dry Town.
Oh,
so
one more thing.
Yeah.
Nazam, was it?
Nazon.
One more thing, Nazon.
Nazana.
Do you think Nazana-son? Do you think the gentleman at the entrance has fair prices for his potions?
Oh, the water breathing ones?
Yeah, those ones indeed. So as you can see, me and my little grandchildren, we don't really do this whole underwater breathing things. I just don't want to overspend.
I mean, they're probably pretty dusty old stock. What's he charging for them?
Oh, well, I wish I remembered. But I don't think we got to it. So, would you say there's a better place to procure them?
I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of people around here who need water breathing, so... I mean, I think your choices are a little low.
That's a bit grievous, but okay.
I've never really thought of him as a gouger, if you like. You know.
All right, I shall see. Do you sell them?
Me?
Yeah. Yes,
No.
You.
I sell a lot of things, my dear, but water breathing isn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think we have enough time in this episode for me to ask what do you sell, so I'm gonna move on. Thank you, dear, and I would like to down my beer and go see if the water-breathing person has some of those things, because I am a reasonable one in the party.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can head back to the shop kind of at the front gate. You make your way through. What sort of time did you get up? Like, how early is this in the day?
I would say she woke up quite early, but then Dexter exploded. So that would have taken a while. I know that will be like mid-morning after we've dealt with all the fallout and the mess.
Yeah, so if it's mid-morning, you're definitely seeing like throngs of kind of dry town like entertainment people, like various aquatic type folk in family or friend groups sort of excitedly exploring the town and sort of taking these big breaths and kind of cracking up about how they're like breathing oxygen, and like getting silly food according to them, and like drinking drinks out of glasses and how novel that is, because so they're like, you see a lot of people just sort of cracking up about how things work here. As they're sort of, so you're working your way through all of these throngs of people, and make your way to the front. There isn't a lot of traffic on the stall on the inside. It's just that mainly the guy is just pointing out different attraction, so he's the guy with the map, Oh, yeah. He's not really selling tickets or anything. That seems to be his whole job.
Map and potions, cool.
Yeah,
this feels...
Not a lot of potions being sold this side, so...
Fair enough. Now, this feels probably really nice to Granny, because she would have taken lots of her grandkids to places like this, but they would have made sense for her. Therefore, she'd just bask in this kind of atmosphere, kind of reflecting on what it was like to be a granny. And then remember that she has a mission and go straight to the guy and say, okay, I'll give you 1 gold for 3 potions that will let us breathe underwater. What do you say?
He looks at you and he goes, you know what? They're dusty, they're old. I'll take 3 gold. I'm not going to take 1 for 3.
How about...
I'm not even sure, to be perfectly honest, that they'll work for, like, as long as they're supposed to. They're supposed to work for, like, a good 8 hours, but, if you find yourself sort of, maybe come back.
Okay. How long does it take to go to the edge of Mernea and back?
Oh, only a few hours.
Oh, so we can just stop breathing on that side and then never come back. Oh,
I'm sure there'll be people who can help you out. You'll be fine. It's, like, not that far. I mean, I'm saying a few hours because, like, you don't really seem to have any kind of flippers. So I'm assuming you're going to be swimming really slowly.
Right, that sounds like a scam, and I am old, and I may not know the new things that you children made up, like these moving box that goes whichever way, and the crank box that distributes stacks may be new to me, but I know that I will give you 1 gold for free of those potions.
Roll persuasion check.
All right, it's an entire 6.
6. He's like, 3 gold for 3. And that's doing you a favor. Normally these sell for like 10 gold a piece.
You know what? You seem like a kind soul. Would you like, can I incite him?
Sure.
Cool. Oh, good. That was close. 21.
Nice, yeah. Look, he looks like he's genuinely like gonna give you these things because they're dusty and he's not sure how long they're gonna actually work. You know, that's why he's giving, like, he seems genuine about the fact that he's sort of like trying to tell you all the facts, you know?
All right, so does he seem gullible?
With an insight of 21, he seems like he could have been convinced if it wasn't a 6 persuasion. Is that what you're going for?
Oh man, no, I think, okay, this would be metagame, but I was gonna give him like a, one of the stones that I always carry with me, but like, this is a very rare surface thing. You cannot find this anywhere, okay? This is very, very rare. It's like a stone that, like a rock.
Yeah. Honestly, if you hadn't rolled a 6 in persuasion, you probably could have got him to give it to you cheaper. But you do know now he's genuinely not trying to price gouge you. He's genuinely giving them to you much cheaper than they would be usually.
I very slowly count out 1 gold and then 2 gold and then like, was it 2 gold? No, okay.
He's like, that's for 2.
Okay.
And he puts 2 down in front of you.
3 gold. Okay, fine.
And then he puts the 3rd one down.
Fair enough. So
sassy shopkeeper.
Yeah, he's like, just, you know, give it a good shake. All the stuff's sort of settled, you know? Shake it and then drink it.
Right.
You'll be alright.
Alright, I'll pocket that. And
it really is weird that you don't have any kind of... And he's like making this gesture at you and you see like he's got like webbing in between his fingers and stuff, like, you know, and he's making like a swim gesture at you. He's like, how do you even live?
I would like to crab myself.
Nice.
Adam, why did I buy 3 of them?
Just
such a bad player.
down into this like much smaller crab, and he leans over and he's like, oh yeah, okay, that works.
And I will scare you away towards the library.
Yeah, nice. Okay. We are going to flip into Mernea, inside the coral city itself. It's a beautiful coral city, but the person sitting in the waiting room right now isn't really very focused on the beauty of the town and the people of the town, because you find yourself sitting in a very like large, very like ornate, grand space. And you're like the only one sitting here apart from one guy who's like guarding the door. These big, giant, you know, full-size double doors. These doors are like 4 times the size of the guy that's standing in front of them. And you're sitting on this bench, like several meters away from the guy, just by yourself, because that's where you were told to sit and wait. So what is going on with Taran right now?
She's currently sitting as small as she can on the bench, so the room looks even bigger, purely because she's that nervous at the fact that she's in this zone, just sort of like sitting, knees shaking, just trying to figure out where she is, how she got here, what's going on.
Yeah. And who do we see sitting here? If you want to, I'm going to chuck up some art, especially for everybody who joined in the live stream, but do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're looking at? Who is Taran and what she look like?
You see a humanoid, so we're going to branch out of a human party. She is a water genasi, and a, very sort of like turquoisey sort of blue-green skin, green hair that goes into blue tips at the end. She has sort of light clothing that you sort of find underwater. You don't want anything too heavy, because obviously she can swim. It helps to breathe underwater. She's quite lucky in that respect. But yeah, so she's just sitting there fidgeting. Yeah, very nervous currently.
Yeah, 100%. What a genasi. Nice. And the wait is sort of over. It seems to be as one of these like other members of this aquatic, race town exit this grand room. And there's a pause, while they walk all the way down this like seaweed rug that stretches from one giant door to the other giant door. And then the door clangs closed. And like halfway through the walk, they like look at you, you look at them, they look terrified, awestruck, everything. And then like look back down at the ground and then they exit again. And well after all of that is done, you hear this, Grim! You're next.
Taryn stands up and walks down, but real slowly, almost dragging their feet, but looking real furtive around, in case, like, in an open world, they're gonna spring something upon you.
Yeah. And you see, as you enter this room, like, again, this room here looks even impossibly larger. The ceiling just vaults straight up and you can see all this like coloured light coming from the top, unsure how they're managing to make that sort of effect. It's just like a rainbow prism in here of light and just coral everywhere, these big towering like shell columns all around this room, and this like seaweed rug again leading directly to sort of like a fence, like a banister rail that sort of stops at the end of this rug. And you can see other like guards standing next to various columns in this room, and there are like bench seats in this room as well, and there's like scattered figures in like important kind of robes sitting around taking notes, and so they sort of all look at you, but they do not give you like more than a glance of like, right, yeah, okay, no one important. They go back to whatever they're doing in their benches. But it's hard to notice any of that because seated in front of you proudly on a gloriously pearly throne is a blue-skinned humanoid with gills and fins in a green shimmering dress, head held high underneath a tiara woven into her flowing tresses. A mixture of blue and green that is mesmerizing as her hair like just floats outwards around her in this glorious halo. And with one arm she gestures at you to come closer. With her other arm outstretched, you see the mythical tall golden trident. And under her shimmering, undulating gown, you catch a glimpse of scales, perhaps fins, but her legs are tucked backwards. So you're still not really sure if the rumors are true that she's full mermaid or like what she is. You just don't really know. You cannot quite see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this loud voice, she says, "Step forward and state your request."
Big curtsy before stepping forward, and then steps forward. Lady Flotus, may I speak to you on a matter very quickly? I have something for you to look at.
You have my attention.
Just one moment.
And she like nods at you just like, encouragingly, like, with a genuine smile on her face.
She rummages through her backpack and sort of hands up. I need answers about this. This is why I left my home, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what's written there. We're in a library. Do you have any answers? And she'll offer it out. Yeah.
And she gestures at one of her, like, attendants. And this attendant sort of runs down, looks like a sea elf, runs down towards you, sort of holds out his hands and in a kind of, like, may I sort of gesture at you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you hand over this item, and he sort of runs back to the floatess and sort of, like kneels down in front of her, head down with the item raised in his hands, like, I am not worthy, in front of her.
Take it.
Yeah. And she takes this item and she kind of takes a moment to like seriously look at it. You see her like pondering and turning these like big bulky segments of like coral based like almost pages, but they're like not paper, it's like, yeah, much thicker than that. And she turns it and she's like, interesting. I have not seen such art before, or I don't think I have. Or these words here, they scramble in the mind, like they won't stay still.
They're very
And
pretty to
you
look
can
at.
see her almost like, yeah, she's like, this is Aquan. It talks of figures. Would you mind if I studied it somewhat? Perhaps I might be able to help all my scholars?
I was told I had to keep on hold of it. I'm not sure if I can give it to you. Could I at least stay here a little while you have a look over it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, I don't... And she's, like, looking at her attendants who are, like, you know, giving her essentially, like, the watch symbol, and, like, the shake head symbol,
the
like,
cane.
they, like, cut it. Yeah, and you see her going, yes, well, I mean, I suppose I should tell you that we do have the most qualified scholars in around our library who would be better suited for this, but this reminds me so much of something. And she looks at, like, her attendants, and they're, like, again, shaking their heads at her, and she's like, I could perhaps trade a favor for a favor. I could get my personal scholars to look at this, and she's, like, looking at them more than you. If you would do me a favor, I have an issue which this would draw their attention away from, if you understand.
So if I give you the book and I get a favour from you, or you want a favour from me? So far I'm seeing that you get...
No, you can take the book with you. I will get my scholars to investigate what they see if you give it to them for a moment, and she gestures to them. They are capable of remembering what they see. It's more that if I put them on this task, well, they will be giving up another task, if you know what I mean. And so if you took their task, they could do this task, and she's kind of looking at them again like, come on, man, do me a favor. Like, she's looking at them like, if this person does that thing for you, then you could do this thing for them, and that would, you know, kind of straighten it out. That's the vibe you're sort of getting. You can, like, insight or
I will
read
insight,
into
please.
that.
Yeah. 12.
Okay, she seems more curious about this than you initially expected. You just expected probably her to be like,
It's an old
no,
book.
I don't know anything about that, okay, bye. You know?
Yeah.
But she seems to be genuinely, like, scratching her head, like something is bugging her about it.
Okay, cool.
And there's definitely an agitation there of like, oh, I mean, you don't have to take, you could take the book, but like if we could just look at it.
Yeah,
you know, like,
happy for you to look at it. I need some help deciphering it, so I'll take you up on your offer to do the task if I can keep the book afterwards.
Yeah, because with a 12, you're seeing an agitation there that you're probably putting to the book.
Yeah.
You know? It's a 12. You're not sure.
Yeah, just above average.
Yeah. And so she's like, wonderful. And she gives it to the attendant, who takes it over to the scholars, who are like rolling their eyes, but like, you know, they dutifully open it, and you see them start to have a look. And then she says, right, so about that favor that I need, if you could, just while they're investigating this, you know how every new aquatic folk needs to do their journey, their pilgrimage, she wouldn't say pilgrimage, sorry, Brad, cut that, their journey of growing to adulthood, their time where they become an adult, and they travel and they meet the others who are of the same age. They decide whether they want to be during this journey. They meet others, decide if they want to stay in the same city, and then they come home, or they journey on elsewhere.
I do, yes. I'm familiar.
Yes. How was yours?
It had its
she
moments.
asked kind of distractedly. Yeah.
It had its moments.
Yeah. Right. Well, in Mernea and some of the other close towns here, they travel to a certain spot every year, and they usually would be home by now. I mean, perhaps I'm overthinking it, and they're just out having an awful lot of fun. But I wouldn't know if they were okay. I just can't really send anybody officially from town, because you know what children are like. They'll be, oh, you're checking up on us. But if somebody just happened to go past there, then we would know if, particularly my daughter is okay.
I can see if they're drinking or not. They'll be fine. I can get down with the... infiltrate the group, see how they're going.
Yes, that would... and you see her, like, visibly kind of relax a little, and she's like, that would be wonderful. Yes, I'm not... It's not really to do if the floatess leaves town to go, conveniently parade past. Yes, I worry. Are you a mother?
No, not so lucky so far, but I can understand your concern for family and relations. I'll look into this for you, yeah.
Yes, yes. Jeeves will, sort you out with, where our journey usually takes them. There's a set of ruins that is particularly popular. I went there myself when I was younger. They can provide you with directions.
That sounds...
I mean, I know it's important for them to be independent. I do, but, well, I also, want them to come home. Or at least know if she's chosen other. And you see, like, now the real, like, sad. Anyway, we'll look into this book for you if you just come see me once you... Yes.
I'll let you know once I find out and see how they're faring for you.
Yes, absolutely. Are you done there with that? She gestures to the scholars, and they are looking at her now, less eye-rolly and definitely more confused. But they nod that they've seemed to have captured enough of this information to go by, and they hand it back to you.
Tuck it in the satchel. Is there anything else you require of me at the moment? Do you need... Yeah, have you got the information for where your daughter went off to?
Oh, yes, you'll be given that on
at the front. In the big room?
Yes.
It's quite large. It's very impressive.
Yes. Thank you. Comes with the rest of the castle.
How many books do you actually have here? Like, I was looking at them before and they're very fascinating.
Oh, right. Not as many here as you'd think. Most of them are actually in the library in Drytown. It's the whole problem with pages. Paper, water. Not a thing that mixes.
That's very true. Yeah, new to town here, so I wasn't sure it was very similar to where we were from. 2 towns over.
Yes. And again, her attendants are looking at her like, wrap it up. Like, are we done? And you've got like a dude who's like tapping on your back to do that thing where he turns you around and moves you down. You've got like, So it's like this whole thing where you're still talking and she's still talking and everybody's trying to wrap you up. Yeah.
Taryn has no sense of timing.
Yeah. And the floatess sort of goes, oh, right, yes, you may go now.
Thank you.
And looks like pleased with herself,
Goodbye.
Yeah, and then the dude, grabs you by the shoulders and sort of ushers you down the aisle and is sort of muttering to himself, every time it takes an interest. Every time she's the floatess. She's not supposed to take an interest in every single person.
She's so lovely. I've had a nice conversation with her. How do you...
And he's just not engaging at all. Just pushes you out the door basically, and now you kind of see why I was ooh. And then you get out there and there's another person waiting, in that one bench the same as you.
I'll turn to the one. She's so lovely. You'll have a great time chatting with her.
And just looks absolutely more terrified, at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you head out. We head back to Granny, who has got to the library. So the library is a very unassuming sort of wooden building. Very simple door, looks like a house that you're about to walk into. It's quite odd, actually. Must not be a very big library. That's kind of what it looks like from the outside. What are you up to, Granny?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm just walking sideways. And I would kind of bang onto the door of the library and walk away a little bit and bang on it again and walk away a little bit and then realize I'm a crab, so I'm just going to stop being crab. Can you tell I got the random walking crab toy? Anyway, so I'd like to try and open the door of this library. And is it open?
Yeah, totally open.
Yeah, walk in and see if there's anyone in there. Try and look very commanding and grumpy as a granny would. And try and get some...
Yeah, so there's these big set of stairs that seem to go downwards. It's quite a, narrow, small corridor built into the rock. And it's just got a set of stairs that go down in it.
So no person.
So you make your way... Yeah, no person immediately here.
Scoff. And I would like to head downstairs.
Yep. So so you kind of go down these stairs, and as you sort of plonk down these stairs with your footsteps, they seem to get more and more echoey, as if you were entering quite a large space. And that makes more sense once you get to the bottom and you look out and you just see this, labyrinth of knowledge opening up in front of you. Yes, there seems to be a front desk type space with very clear turnstiles to get in. There's no way to get in without checking in at this desk, but you can see behind the glass panels here, it's just absolutely boundless. Rows upon rows of books line the shelves. You can see some are chained to the shelves, some are kept literally in fish tanks so that they are kept wet or something. And you see a maze of staircases and levels, cozy reading nooks, scattered tables. Everything you see through these glass panels invites exploration, contemplation, and just seems like an absolute haven for knowledge seekers. You can see a few figures in there, settled in at tables and flicking peacefully through books. And as you approach this front, you see a young Triton girl with light green skin reminiscent of the ocean depths and brilliant blue eyes. And she's hurrying towards you with a very, helpful, friendly smile. It's hello!
Oh, hello, dear. And Granny has since lost her original plan of being grumpy and is just in awe because she's never seen anything like it. And it's the stuff of stories. Hello, dear. What is this place? And
the lost library, they say. You found it. Common joke.
Good one. Good one. You seem like a really good girl. Listen, I'm searching for something, but I feel like maybe I'm just one person, and there's so much to look for, and I'm just struck with all that.
She's oh, well, that's pretty common too. It's kind of how the library affects you. It's sort of, a bigger on the inside sort of vibe. You can come right in as soon as I see your library card.
Oh, library card, you say? Mm-hmm. I am an old woman. I should have one, shouldn't I?
Well, I'm not going to say anything about that. Wouldn't want to make disparaging comments about the wisdom of the elders.
Can I insight that? That sounded a little too perfect.
Yeah.
That's not my character sheet. Inside. Oh my god, I'm so bad at playing this game. Why am I on this podcast? 22.
I have no idea.
You invited me.
I did. No regrets.
22.
22. Okay, yeah. She actually seems like she's pretty schooled and very smart responses. She's trained to be friendly, precise, and rah. Doesn't mean it's not genuine, but that came out pretty quick. She's obviously used to customer service and buttering up people a little as well.
It's a library, not a bookstore, so I guess it's not salesmanship, so we can forgive that. All right. Oh dear. Well, how does one get a library card? Here.
Well, I have a form right here. All that you need to show is how long you've owned a house down here. There's a form for that. You should have a house owner. If you were married to somebody down here in Mernea, if you've spent so many years down here, you have residency of Mernea. then, we can get you set up with a card. Or you've invested several, $1,000 in a business in Mernea and really bought, money to the town and stuff. So which one of those categories do you fit?
Well, I did buy these 3 really expensive potions, and it was $1,000 each. And I showered the potions.
Right.
Sorry, gold pieces.
Not quite a business, though, unfortunately.
Well,
I'm really happy to hear that you supported Mernea and our thriving commercial culture. But no, we're sort of talking more about opening a business here. The foot in or something of that kind of quality.
I see. So what you're saying is I need to either marry the average-looking owner of the inn, buy his inn.
Would we call him average? She says, tapping her chin.
not an attractive person at all. And Granny's inside of her, battling or just anyway.
You're new here. You're staying in the Foot Inn.
Listen, I have been sent here on a very important hero's mission, and I would appreciate some sort of recognition of my status as a hero. And I have 2 other heroes with me. And
I mean, this is sort of easy then. Surely if you're a hero down here in Mernea, you've done some great service to Mernea and you have that certificate from the floatess.
Ah, yes, I have done a great service to Mernea. I have fought and intimidated 2 sharks. So how do you...
Why?
Oh, they were attacking the city.
We don't fight the wildlife here. We live peacefully with it.
It was rabid. It was after the walls.
I don't think the floatess would give you a certificate for that. It needs to be a great service to Mernea. If you're a hero, surely you've done some great thing. I've rescued some people. I don't know, saved a town.
Right, so are you saying I have to go to the floatess and convince her that what I've done was actually great? That's fine. I have a bard. I can do this, I say to myself, but I don't realize I said it out loud.
Okay, or go to the floatess and get a quest that's good enough. It certainly seems like it would be easier than trying to marry Sorn.
Yes, it would be easier, wouldn't it?
She kind of gives you this look a few people have tried.
Right. So you said own the house, resident in Mernea, do a great deed, open a business, marry the drow.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. You have to sort of, be committed to Mernea in order to enter the library. It's just kind of a,
just seems like not a very good public service, but, just, I really like it here, so I'll see what I can do. Can I just look at it for a little bit? It's very impressive.
You can look there on that side of the counter.
Okay. Grun's genuinely very sad about it.
Say granny noises.
All right.
Sad granny noises.
I will just...
It does kind of seem like you'll have to do something to commit yourself to Mernea. This may or may not be loosely based on the New Zealand residency laws.
Well, I didn't actually have to marry anyone.
Kasia knows how to... Yeah, I was going to say...
How about I get a job and nobody else can do that job, which is, I'm from the surface and no person from Mernea can fill that role because they can't breathe air. And that is kind of... Anyway, fine. You have made your point.
I don't mean to be rude. It's just the rules, and if I break them, well, then he gets involved. And, nobody really wants that.
Who's he?
The librarian.
Okay. Should I know more about the librarian? Can I reason with the librarian? Can I speak to your librarian, please?
And she looks at you with big, wide eyes and is like, I don't like talking to the librarian.
Well, you seem like a very nice lady. Okay. Well, I don't want to assume, but,
Oh, yes. She, her.
She, her. Oh, yes, she, her as well. We have so much in common already, so... dearie. And I pull out a muffin I made earlier. Because of course I did. If that's alright with you, DM. I'm like, dear, just tell me a little more about the librarian. Here's a little treat that we make on the surface. It's called a muffin.
She's starting to like look like she's sweating a little bit. She's like, I really would stop saying his name, honestly.
Is that his name? Okay. I'm making notes. I see. And
I don't even know if it is a him. I just call him a him because he feels like a him, you know?
So he's very confident and doesn't do much? I apologize. I'm being a bit sexist. This is me, the player. I apologize. Not all librarians and him.
Sorry, Aaron.
Sorry. So why do you work for him then?
Because I love the books. I love the library.
Oh.
I love being here. Wouldn't you be here all the time? Every day?
I'd read
if
the
you could.
books. So I suppose I would. And I don't know. Can I like persuade her with the muffin somehow? I don't know. Trying to figure out.
Yeah, so what? Are you just trying to get more information about
just
the
about
librarian?
the librarian.
Or like, yeah.
Just sounds like.
Yeah, you can try and just persuade her to tell you a bit more, or kind of pass on some more, whatever.
I pull out another muffin because that's as far as my very old brain today works. 17 and a muffin. So that's plus
nice.
1, right?
She goes, okay, I tell you what, if you stop saying his, their, hers, I honestly don't know, name, I'll tell you a little bit about them.
All right. I will
At least
not
until
say the L word again.
I've got a trolley full of books over there, and if they take much longer, they're going to turn up anyway. So, okay. Well, and she kind of like, you know, purses her lips and squints up her face, trying to think like where to start. She's like, well, they never speak. He just kind of gestures, and I know what he means, you know? It's a robe and darkness just floating through the library and just always there, always knows what people need. Like, just has a tendency to just like appear with the right book, but also don't even think about damaging any of the books in here. I have seen people ejected from this library with like injuries. I don't want to know how they got.
I see.
And there's always a coffee-stained book or something like that caused the incident. So just be careful, you know, when you get in here, okay?
Which means if I do need a book that on a specific topic, the will find it for me when I have the library card.
Yeah, but definitely don't come in here without a library card. That's when I don't think I've ever seen any of those people ever again. You know, so I swear I'm trying to be helpful.
Oh, you are very, very helpful, and I would like to pull out a third muffin and give it to her because she seems.
She's been like devouring these muffins sitting at the desk, just like taking them to pieces and just like shoving them in, you know, like nervously, almost like a little mouse, you know. Yeah. And then she's like, anyway, I okay, this has been nice, but I have to, like, that trolley, if I don't. Okay, so when you come back with the library card, I'll let you in and everything will be great, and I look forward to that. Okay, thank you, goodbye. And she kind of like scutters up, and because it's like glass, you can clearly see what she's doing. She like scutters off. You can see her grab this like cart with wheels, and she's wheeling it around. She's like grabbing a book and then clambering up these big long laddery stairs and slotting it in. You'd have no idea how she knows where this book goes, but she does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Granny is kind of breathing in the air and very, very impressed with the place, but it does sound like she's died almost many times, so maybe let's not do the one woman penetration.
Penetration of the library.
Penetration of the library. Thank you, dear. You've been great.
Oh, you're welcome.
I will fill out the survey if you like.
Oh, that's by the exit.
Amazing. And I go fill out the survey and go upstairs to...
Yeah, and back out the door. And it's quite bright out here because, you know, even though it's like under the ocean, they've set up Dry Town with these various lights to make it look like it's sunlight in here. You know, they're really trying to do everything like it's walking around on Earth. What's Granny's plan? What's Taryn's plan? You know, like... This is a pretty big ask for Taryn. Like, I know you've come here, but you've probably come here on, like, a ferry from a nearby town. Very, like, you know, arranged, organized, you know. This is just being given a map with a location and told to go to the middle of nowhere with, like, no ferries or buses, you know, whales going in that direction. You just have to kind of get there all on your own. Yeah, like, what's the plan?
Once getting the map, probably figuring out if there's someone who can come with me, because, Taryn's not 100% familiar with the area, but, is willing to, still look into finding the people that haven't come back yet. But
yeah, and so what are you kind of doing to, like, find people? What's, like, Taryn's first thought?
Adventurers often come from the surface, and I know that they look for money. So, gonna head towards where sort of the dockway is and ask to see if anyone's come through recently, who's looking for a little bit of coin, who wants to... Yeah.
And actually, looking out at Dry Town, it would be pretty obvious that someone probably is in town, because the one ship that occasionally makes trips to the surface is currently parked at the dock.
Perfect.
You know? So that's like a dead giveaway. I mean, you're not... like super familiar with Mernea, but you definitely know that that is a rarity. Like having the actual surface ship parked at the dock is unusual. So yeah, even if it is a surface ship with an octopus living inside it, you know, it's still the surface ship.
Amazing.
You know?
So Taryn will probably go up to the ship and ask the captain who he's brought in recently, and if there's anyone that he can recommend.
And he's wearing his feathered cap and his big old jacket, and he's like, there is be, I bought 3 surface walkers. One of them nearly threw up in me boat, and one of them turned into a crab. It was quite an exciting adventure.
Are you sure they're surface walkers? It sounds fascinating.
Oh, I mean, they're unusual surface walkers, but I do feel like they are also traditional. They struggle to breathe underwater. Clear sign.
But they'll do things for coin. They're adventure-seeking folks. I need a hand with something.
They did seem very fond of the bag. Usually that's a dead giveaway that someone's only doing something for coin.
That sounds good. Do you know where they're staying at the moment? If I can, go and at least talk to them to see, if
where
they're willing.
Else is there to stay in Dry Town but our foot?
Foot. I know the place. It's this way, right?
Oh yeah, you'll see it. It's got the giant foot.
It does what it says on the tin.
And actually a lot of things in town have a giant foot outside, like the shoe store has a foot, like Barefoot and has a foot. They're fascinated with feet for some reason.
Amazing. Go to the Discord to check out more feet. No, kidding.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually true.
We might change
There's literally a foot pic in there right now.
New tags, Amy, new tags, sorry. Anyway, Taryn, I think you get to we'll bow off and we'll make our way.
Yeah, so you head into this place, and there's definitely an unusual sight. As soon as you walk into the Effort Tavern, there is seemingly a human playing an instrument in the corner, and, fairly well, actually, it's pretty good music. You've never heard this tune, you've never really heard things played like this, because usually it's more sort of carried on the water, so it's like lilting and softer. This seems a little jarring, but, it's nice, I guess. Yeah.
It sounds unique. She sort of stands there listening to it for a bit and then heads up to the bartender, our hot druid friend.
Sorry, I'm laughing because Amy is struggling in chat. She's like, check out the Patreon and join the Discord, I guess, if you want foot pics. This feels weird.
Sorry, Amy. Good work. the end, isn't it? Go up to Hot Druid Friend and ask if how the new adventurers are.
Yeah, and he tells you that, like, they're out mostly at the moment. One of them's there, one of them's upstairs suffering from pressure.
That sounds nasty. I don't want to go see him currently. No.
Yeah, and the other one left, but pretty sure she was headed to the library. But they're staying here, he tells you.
Okay.
So.
I think, Taryn might just sit in the, eating area, and we'll actually start a betting game with one of the other patrons, just while she kills time. Have a little bit of 3 Dragon Ante just going while waiting.
Nice, yeah.
Get some more coin, because she's...
And they're definitely playing 3 Dragon Ante down here. So let's do a, are we trying to bluff our way through 3 Dragon Ante? Are we trying to sleight of hand ourselves any good cards, or are we just trying to play it fairly straight?
Probably fairly straight. She's proficient in 3 Dragon Ante, so that helps.
Okay. Yep. We'll go with a wisdom, just straight wisdom check. As you're like trying to do the odds, do the math, kind of decision whether you should bet, whether you shouldn't, life kind of decisions rather than intelligence necessarily all decisions.
Cool. You know how I'm good at 3 Dragon Ante? Mm-hmm. Can I say I rolled my first natural 20 on the podcast? I have proof if you want proof, but I did it.
So don't forget to give yourself inspiration.
That's so exciting. I cannot find it.
First session. Woo! That's
playing
good.
Cards.
All right. Yeah. So you've got 3 people sitting at the table with you. So one of them actually is bluffing, pretty well, but you're just, is playing pretty well. The other 2 are, easy to read, you know what's going on, you're making good decisions in and around their, what they're doing. It's not necessarily that you, know everything that they have. You're just I think this is probably the smartest move given this situation, and you're playing pretty well. The other one sort of wins a few hands across from you occasionally, and is doing okay, but you definitely hold your own and manage to pull out the game. Cool. Yeah, at the end of this. Amazing. So right at the end of this game, Granny walks in. And Granny, you see this table of a lively, quite cheery, quite friendly Dragon Ante. There's a lot of kind of going on. And Bardley's whipped the crowd up into sort of quite a happy, sort of bubbly vibe in here. There's a bit of a, almost pre-party mood going on. Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously I will join the game. Mm-hmm. No idea how to play it.
Nice. Aha. Yeah, the others kind of leave the table, leaving Taryn sitting at the table because they're out of money right now. They're
counting.
She took all the money. She's all yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Do you care for a game?
Some fun. Yes, please. What is it?
We've got some 3 Dragon Ante going on. Have you played before? I hear it's very popular up Skyside.
Okay, as a player, would I have?
I mean, you definitely would have seen 3 Dragon Ante played around, even in the tavern back in
Potsdam and stuff.
Skirrick and stuff, at home. You would have seen it played. Do you think Granny would have partaken back then? That's a character choice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Oh, yes, dearie. Yes, it's been a while. I have not since I've been a young lass, but I would like to try again.
I can help you out as well.
Interesting. Cool. And then, what is Dragon Ante?
Okay, so 3 Dragon Ante is actually a official Wizards of the Coast card-playing game that they made based on the fact of a throwaway kind of comment on a character sheet that it was a type of game that characters could play. So the game was actually made after D&D was made, which is fun. Yeah, but it's a little bit like poker, a little bit of bluffing, a little bit of gin rummy kind of thrown in there. Sort of a combination of that. So it's a little bit of betting, a little bit of collecting sets, runs, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's great. Sorry, this was just for filler. So I sit down and I'm like, just a little bit, blah, blah, and then I try and do my best, to shuffle the cards, really impressively with,
Okay. Yeah. Give me a sleight of hand roll and see how well you get.
It's gonna be terrible, isn't it? What is it? I don't know. It is 1 minus 1, which is 0.
Okay, well, you know what happens on a 1. Our best friend visits. Apparently she reaches you even here, so...
3. Oh no, I know which one that is, I think.
Yes, you do. So, here at the table... Taryn, this old lady sits down at the table with you, grabs the deck of cards, goes to shuffle them. Cards just explode everywhere. Just this giant card shuffle explosion. And then sitting on the chair, balanced with its hooves on the table, is a hog.
Oh my gosh, that's such good magic. What's going on? I've never seen this creature before in my life.
I'm like,
is this what
do you mean?
And
what you hear is like, oink, 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 oink. And
yeah, for 6 seconds straight, Granny tries to talk to you completely straight, and all you hear is...
But Granny has no idea, so she's like, what happened? What?
And then it's Granny again, suddenly. And the cards are still everywhere. Yeah.
Like, oh dear. And I start picking it up.
That was amazing. You must know magic then. You must be the adventurers I've been hearing all about. If you know this type of magic.
I don't know about the magic, but yes, we are the adventurers. It is me. This very talented person over there, and there's a third one, but... Well, let's not talk about him right now.
You see, like a very sort of sickly, pale, thin human sort of making their way down the stairs, clutching their stomach, and sort of gesturing at the barkeep for water. Yeah.
Oh, no, that doesn't look good at all.
Oh, no. He's seen better days. He's a nice boy. Just give him a day or two,
Yeah, I hear rest is good for these sort of things. So, yeah, he can stay over that way for now.
Yes,
it's nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. I'm Granny Sabinka, and what's your name?
My name is Taryn Grimm.
Taryn Grimm, oh, how lovely. You seem like a lovely little person. And why, pray, do you look for adventurers?
Oh, well, I said I'd do I said I'd help out the Floatess. She's sort of the ruler around these parts with a little task. She's looking for some people, and I don't think I can do it by myself, and I know adventurers like coin, so I was wondering if you guys, for a little bit of coin, would like to help me find some people, and maybe explore the city.
We do enjoy the coin, but did you say you're doing something for the Floatess? Because that's a bit of a coincidence. Would you think that's a significant task you've been given?
Oh, well, it's a family member that she's looking for, so I'd say it's pretty significant.
Oh, well, that is wonderful! Of course. Do you have a piece of paper where the task is written down? But my boy Dexter really likes a piece of paper with the quest on it. It would be very nice. He would feel. You do?
I do, yeah. Who's Dexter? Is it the one on the stool with the loot?
Yes, the one that's seen better days. But he is a very nice, very good, solid adventurer when he's not that.
That's fair. Well, I do have a piece of paper. If he wants to grab it when he's feeling better, we can.
Dexter,
I don't think we were.
And as Dexter goes, paper. and starts to wander over with his glass of water. I think we fade out on the scene as our adventurers come together. Bardley stops playing the set, and sort of everybody comes together at this table, poring over this piece of paper, and we see them all introducing themselves to this new person in the party as the cast come together to form a new version of the Sidebars. So let's all say it together for the first time with Erica on stream. And that's the end of the episode. Yay! Okay. So thank you for joining us very much today. I really, really appreciate you coming to join us. I am sorry to have a smaller party here, but I'm not sorry to have a new person joining us for the podcast. It is Fringe Festival time here in New Zealand, which means that the curse of being a comedian and being popular, you're probably doing shows. So they are out doing various streams and various live performances. So all I've got to say on their behalf is get out there and see your favorite live performer. Go support them by sitting in their shows and laughing and clapping and having a good time. But thank you so much to our brand new player joining us today. Just like a novelty thing. How was that for you, Erica? Terrifying?
Could you not tell that I was terrified? I don't know if you can tell, but I was gripping my legs really tightly, so I've got a few marks.
Perfect.
That's
how I like you all. Terrified. Yeah.
That is what we do.
Thank you so much for joining us on our adventure today, and we hope to see you again. If you are listening to this on the podcast app of your choice, maybe come along to a live stream to catch the action directly as it happens. We stream every second Wednesday at 7:30 NZTT PM, and we would love to see you there. Many amazing people are involved with the production of this podcast, and I am incredibly grateful for their hard work, dedication every single episode. So I want to give a big shout out to my partner in crime, Brad Zimmerman, who has been in the chat in there. I see you, Bradley Zimmer, joining the team. Editor of the polished episodes that you hear and responsible for the design of the world of Isen in Book 1. Thanks again to Amy Ward Art, our glitteriest moderator, keeping our live streams chat a wholesome and hilarious place to be, and also giving us the incredible, beautiful Taryn artwork that we saw today in our live stream.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good. And will be posted again for you soon. Thanks to Haunted Sandwich for the character art they designed for our other sidebars, and Aiden Messer Photography for capturing our players in real life. We are proud members of Kiwi RPG, and we encourage you to visit their website to find other Kiwi creators that you absolutely need to know about. Of course, this podcast would not be able to keep going without our Patreons, who keep the lights on in Isen HQ and make the Fate of Isen Discord a delightful home on the internet. We are incredibly, incredibly grateful for your support. So a big thanks to Irene White Robinson, Irene Curchi, Laura Christine Goodwin, Sam Malcolm, Kai Dearlove, Victoria and Gavin Porton, Daniel Nichols, Violet, Squish the Guy Who Doesn't Talk in an Audio-Only Podcast, Alexandra Lucas, Andrew Evans, Case the Fox, Dakota Szymanski, Jared from Indie Film Review Podcast, Ezekiel Taraborelli, The Gamatron, Christian H, Sam Sarah, Disturbed One, NZ, Lyndon Hood, Tom Wood is Tree Flesh, Not Bone, Ailey, Erica Jane, Steffi James is awesome, Petty D from The Terrible Adventures of the Gender Preference Party for Company Podcast, Aaron Gilgren, Robin McLean, Moji, Torchy Barkai, Danielle, the Tea Lady of the Tea, and Liz from Movie Reviews and 20 Qs. Erica, you should probably stop paying us now that you're on the podcast.
Take my money?
Aaron's still paying.
That's true. And you too can be a fatey that maybe gets on the podcast for as little as $2 a month. You can join the exclusive Discord and become one of the many fans that I now consider friends and sometimes put on a live stream. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you that if you have a hankering for more dice in your life, head over to our partners on fanrolldice.com and use the promo code FATEOFISEN. You can get 10% off your entire order, having a nice discount on us. And last but not least, I'll pass it over to my players, and I want to say a big thanks for them for joining me today. It was hard work carrying the entire episode with only the two of you, and you guys did an amazing job, so thank you so much. Tell us where we can find you on the socials in the same order as before.
Gotcha.
Go.
Hi again, I'm Erica. You can follow me on Instagram at EricanoJane, or I have a cosplay account that is Aurora Knight _cosplay, which I kind of throw things in there ad hoc. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Nice.
Over you to Kasia.
Hi, I'm Kasia, and I am a comedian in Wellington, and I'm trying to get out of my shell. You can find me on Facebook. Hopefully Amy's linking right now. Yeah, and you'll see me in dark, dingy bars around, but not anytime soon. Back to you, Jules.
And I am DM Jules. You can find me everywhere on Jules from NZ, pretty much everywhere. Screw Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky now. And you can also find me on Questbook if you want to hire me for fun things. One of our Patreons hired me to do their daughter's 9th birthday party, and it was awesome fun. So that's totally a thing that I do. Anyway, let's get out of here. It's been great, but it's time for bed. E no ora, ka kita no aroha nui. Goodbye. I will see you again soon, and I love you loads. Mwah. Bye.
Goodbye.